The thing that's going to make your cold outbound work has nothing to do with some magical AI automation or some, magical script or some magical deliverability hack or anything like that. Trust me. As much as I would love to say, hey, there's this magical thing over here that's going to make your cold outreach work 100 times better, and all you have to do is get this new software for $100 a month, it's just not the reality. The reality is that most of these things are kind of just good marketing, but the thing that actually gets your outreach results and your cold email the best results is just having an optimized offer for cold email. And let me explain a little bit, because what most people do is they send cold outreach to either a recurring offer. They say, "Hey, get on the phone with me, Mr. Stranger," which makes no sense, because why would you want to get on the phone with a complete stranger? Number two, they send outreach to a shitty Loom, which is, 5 to 10 minutes of them just kind of yapping about random stuff. Or number three, they try and use some sort of sales asset where they're saying, hey, if you want this document, if you want this guide, if you want this thing that's going to help you, then reply to me and I'll send you that thing. The problem here is, number one, if you're sending it to a book a call, to a recurring offer, it's really just one of those things that's hyper salesy, and people don't want to do that unless you're talking about very kind of like esoteric or very unique offers, or you have something that's absolutely market breaking. Then you might be able to do a book a call funnel off cold email, but it's not optimal when you're sending it to a recurring service. Number two is you can have some sort of loom, and this is good, but I'll tell you how to do it specifically in just a second. And number three is having a long and drawn out sales asset. Now, the reason that you don't want to have a long sales asset on cold email is because the people that you're sending this to, they're not as bought in as you think they are. When someone replies to a cold email, they're kind of just stacking assets. I was talking to a guy earlier today. He was going to send his cold email leads towards some sort of sales letter that was going to show them how to solve a certain pain point in their business. It was going to be like a 50-page doc that shows them how to do XYZ process. And the thing with that is that when people are doing that, it doesn't really show the intent that they have to buy your thing. So when you're seeing these kind of like smart lead screenshots or these instantly AI screenshots of people getting a really high response rate, the problem is that a lot of the times they're going really indirect for the service that they're selling, so they can be very, what would you say, like a vanity metric of getting a high reply rate, just because they're offering something that seems really nice in theory. It seems great to have a 50-page document. And I used to do that as well, until I tested it a bunch and then figured out that yeah, I might get some replies, but the lead to booking rate on that type of offer is completely trash, because not only do so few people read it, so few people even click on it, because they're kind of just stacking this, 50-page document the exact same way that you would bookmark something on Twitter, or the same way that you would, reply for a lead magnet on Instagram and say, hey, send me that thing. I'm not actually going to read it, but you can send me it. And the problem is that you have to put in a lot of effort to make that sales letter as well. So it takes a lot of time and it doesn't actually get results. So you can't do book a call to a recurring offer, because that just doesn't work. That's like a 2019 thing. Doing a loom is kind of complex and most people do it the wrong way. And number three, you can't do a sales asset because no one actually wants to watch it. You could do a sales asset if you're going to push it to ads, but the difference between that is that when you go on ads, people actually opt in for that thing. Like, you're kind of saying, hey, I'm selling this lead magnet in my ad. I'm saying, hey, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And you can sell it a little bit harder than you can sell it in a short email. So here's what you want to do. You need to focus on creating an offer specifically for it to work on cold email. What most cold email marketers do is they get an offer, they try and run it on cold email, they test all of these different scripts, they test all of these different things, and they say, no, we never got results with that client because they had a terrible offer. Or, hey, no, you can never get results with that because you have a bad offer. Yeah, they have a bad offer. Everyone has a bad offer, and that's why you have to optimize the offer. And I say this from a complete place of love, because this was literally me. One time I was working with a client. We were trying to get them results on cold email. And I was like, holy shit, this is not working. We're testing everything. We're testing lead lists. We're testing different markets. We're testing spin tax. We're testing AI outbound. We're literally doing everything under the sun. And then I was like, we just can't get results with this client because of their offer. And it took me a while to realize, literally months and months and months later, that the offer is just not attractive. Like, it doesn't matter how you spin it. You cannot put lipstick on a pig. So it's like, how do I get results for that type of client? You have to just change the offer. The only way to get results on outbound and get people interested is to have control over the offer. You have to specifically create the offer such that it will work on cold outbound. It is that simple. And you might be thinking, well, how do you create an offer that's going to work on cold outbound? The only way is to do something that's incredibly low risk, very, very high upside, and very, very easy for the client. Because remember, if it's too hard, if they have to read a 50-page document to get the result, it's not going to work. If it's too expensive, like a recurring offer, it's not going to work. And if it takes too long, or if it's too risky, they're not going to want to do it. It's not attractive enough. It's not sexy enough to drag someone out of their email inbox to get on a call with you. So here is something that when I implemented it, overnight, immediately 10x'd the lead flow for one of my clients. It literally 10x'd the lead flow overnight. And what that thing was instead of doing a massive sales asset, instead of doing a loom, instead of doing, one of these typical lead magnets that people do, I created a lead magnet that would force someone to get on a call. So in order to claim the lead magnet, they would have to get on the call. Now, what does that look like? For example, hey, do you want this? Hey, do you want me to do an audit of your email marketing deliverability? And what I'll do is I'll fix it live for you on the call. I will fix your deliverability on this call. So why is that better than a typical lead magnet? Because number one, you don't have to do that much. You're getting on a call with a prospect. It's much, much stickier than if you're sending them a document into the ether and then all of a sudden you never hear from them again. You're getting on the phone with the prospect to deliver this lead magnet. Yeah, it might cost 20 minutes of your time, but that's a sales call. That's what you call a sales call. And it's not as if it's like the most high intent thing, but they do have the problem and you are getting a conversation with them, which is 100 times better than the alternative where you just send them the document into the ether and then you send them endless follow-ups. It works much, much worse. The other thing with that is you get the chance to give them results. So maybe it takes 20 minutes, but you can fix their deliverability. You can get them a script. You can do whatever on that call and you can build a little bit of trust. Because the thing is, people always say, build trust using YouTube channels, build trust using X, Y, Z. You know what the best way to build trust is? To meet someone and be normal and show them how you can get them results directly on the call. And then here's the kicker, even get them a result without them paying you and then see what happens. And then see what happens to your pipeline after that. See what happens to your upsells after that. So that's something you can do immediately. If it's hard to get leads in your industry, create some form of lead magnet that requires them to get on the call. So something I've seen a lot of cold email guys do is, hey, I'll make you a lead list and I'll give it to you for free. I just have to know a bit more about your ICP. Do you want to get on a call and we'll run through it? That one's not great because that is really indirect. Like there's no problem being solved there. They just get on the call and claim it. But that's something I have seen get leads. Another thing that I've seen do well is like, hey, I can make you a list of, my phone going off. Hey, I can make you a list of viral creators in your industry for an e-commerce brand. Do you want to get on a call? I want to make sure they're all on brand. All we have to do is I'll send them over after you run me through your brand guidelines. I just want to make sure they're really strong. That's really good because it's so sexy that the risk of getting on a call is reduced and the upside is so high. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't I get on a call? So all of a sudden it becomes more sexy. And if you remember at the start of this video, I mentioned something about a loom. So what you can do is instead of doing the call to action towards a loom, towards a call, you can do the call to action towards a loom. So you can say, hey, I have this massively sexy lead magnet for you. I just want to know a bit more about you to figure out if it's going to be a fit for you. So, hey, I have this, I might be able to help you fix your deliverability. I just need to know a few things about what's going on in the back end of your Klaviyo account. Can I send you a loom, a 2-minute loom that gives you a bit more information to see if this could help you, if that's interesting? So all of a sudden you have a juicily sexy thing right here. You have an offer to basically get on a call, and then you have a loom that takes away the massive commitment. So that is where you get that massive concoction of like, holy shit, this is going to work. Like, holy shit, this is going to work. And then the side thing to that is with this kind of like, like service-based lead magnet that you're doing, you can also put a price tag on that as well as a front-end offer. So you can actually go in between with charging for that sort of thing. So you can say, hey, I want to fix your deliverability as a front-end offer. And then you can not say that it's free. You can say, hey, I can fix your deliverability in the next 48 hours. Can I send you a Loom video that can give you a bit more information about it? And then give you more information. And then on that Loom, then you send them toward the call, and then you get them on the call, and you can pitch them that front end offer. You can charge $100, you can charge $1,000, you can charge $5,000 for that sort of thing. It's just a matter of, for your service, what are you going to do for it? It might be a stack of creatives for paid ads. It might be a UGC script if you do UGC. It might be a landing page. For example, in Matt's agency, he did, I'll improve your landing page conversion rate by 10%. You can charge any amount of money for that. It just has to be that the value is so much higher than the risk. And with any of those things, as long as the risk is going to be way, 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 way lower than the value, you're going to be able to get leads with it. And you have to think, if your stuff is not working, why is it not working? Why is it not getting leads? 99% of the time going to be the offer. If you're doing cold email, 99% of the time, it is the offer. So instead of coping about it and saying, my offer doesn't get results on cold email, create an offer that is better. And you can do that. If you're the founder, or even if you're someone who does cold email on behalf of other people, you can come to them and say, hey, I don't think your offer is ever going to work on cold email. Look at these stats. Look at these person's stats in another industry with another offer. They're way better. In my opinion, the reason for that is because the offer is a million times better on their side. So here's what we can test. We can test all these different types of offers. You might just have to do a bit of work. And the reality is, if you want to get leads on cold email, maybe it is a bit of work. And that's why I talk to my clients all the time. And I just say, yeah, cold email is probably not the arbitrage that it was a couple of years ago, where you could just get a shit ton of leads for free. But that doesn't mean it's not valid. It means you just have to do it this way if you want to get results. So that's kind of the case. If you want to get results with cold email, you have to control the offer, and you have to change the offer such that it can get results on cold email. Otherwise, you're going to be crying over your clay automations and your AI automations and trying to figure everything out until eventually you are just going to give up and say cold email doesn't work. Or you could just do what I said in this video, and you'd probably be better off for it.